Hello and welcome to the grand final of the Arceus Metronome tournament. Just like in the initials tournament, it is once again a grand final where the winner of the losers bracket beats the person who won the winners bracket, which caused a grand final. This is truly the final battle. Whoever wins this wins the entire tournament. FlashSilver got second in the previous one. Will they get second again? Or will they actually claim victory? Let's see it. Battle, go. FlashSilver here with Hay and how it backfired at the other end with an Arceus Electric and an Arceus Water. Lick. Medium damage. Defense Scroll could be nice, setting some stuff up. Magnitude, especially hitting that Arceus Electric a bit harder. Wood Hammer on the Arceus Ghost, some recoil damage, so it's pretty big damage for a first turn. Bone Rush for some more 15%. Half attack on How, so How's likely gonna get switched. Grudge on Hay, not too big. Dynamic Punch comes in, doesn't do a lot of damage, it just confuse Arceus Electric. Petal Dance, I believe is a special attack, so that actually works even with a half attack. Half speed for How now as well. This is still not going to switch. Misty Terrain comes in, so that'll be interesting. Let's see, what did Misty Terrain do again? Halves dragon damage used against affected Pokemon. I believe Misty Terrain is the only one that doesn't power up a certain type of moves. It doesn't power up fairy moves. And then Misty Terrain stops any kind of status. It's electric that just stops sleep, and then Misty that stops all status, I believe. Sucker Punch fails, unfortunately, because Metronome, I believe, is considered a status move. Rain Dance, Petal Dance comes in, takes out the Arceus Water. Very lucky there with Fluff from FlashSilver, doing some good damage. And they aren't confused yet, so there's going to be another Petal Dance, and if that isn't the Arceus Ground, that's going to be something. Is that on the Arceus Ground? No, it's not. No, did they not get... Wait, did they not get... Oh! Because of the Misty Terrain, I think? Yeah, I think it's the Misty Terrain that stops Confusion as well, because Confusion is a different kind of status from things like Burn and Poison, which, like, I'm not sure, one is volatile, one is non-volatile, I'm not sure which is which. But I call them primary and secondary status effects, with primary being burn and paralysis that are generally listed on your Pokemon, and then things like Nightmare, Leech Seed, Confusion, or others. But Confusion, I suppose, is a sort of in between. So maybe Confusion is stopped by Misty Terrain as well. That'll be why I didn't get confused. Hail's gonna add some more damage, which is, I suppose, nice with Arceus Ice being there. Not taking any damage from the Hail. So that's somewhat of a lucky switch in. Stockpile comes in. Defense and special defense boosts. Let's see if I can set up with something like Sword Stance or Dragon Dance or Calm Mind, anything like that. Plus crit rate for the Arceus Fairy, but they still need to hit. Dynamic Punch. Unfortunately, this Dynamic Punch doesn't hit. Flash Cannon, super effective on the Arceus Fairy. Darkest Lariat, decent damage, but it did come from an Arceus Dark, so that works. So far, FlashSilver being quite lucky with the super effective moves. Did they get a flinch on this one? Yes, they do. Even more luck on their side. Mist Ball. Lowered special attack on Hay, but I don't think they'll switch. Glare paralyzes the Arceus Fairy, which is now going to get taken out by Hail. So that's a 6-4 lead to it backfired. But what it backfired could do is switch Hay out in case of a Lunar Dance or the other move that fully heals him. Healing Wish. Tickle lowers her stats a bit more. Glaciate does drop their speed to make them now go third. I say third because How will still move fourth. Beak Blast, which still Beak Blast, Shelter. Why do they work with Metronome? I'm still not sure, but they do. Confuse Ray. Confuse is the one with the boosts, but just like we've seen in previous battles, that generally means they will stay in, and they're put to sleep as well. So let's see if the Arceus. The luck from the Arceus will focus on Arceus fighting. Lowered speed, lowered attack, hard defenses. Fusion Fire on the Arceus fighting. The focus does seem to be on it. Ion Deluge. Aqua Jet. No medium damage. I say focus on the other one. If you have something like Infestation or Toxic, anything that does like that bits of damage every turn, or a Poison Tail for poison on the one that has the defense boost. Yes, that's what you want to see. Dark Void doesn't work because you're not called Darkrai. I'm not really sure why it's still able to be called by Metronome. And again. Alright, now it's a Dark Grass type Howl. That's interesting how Forest Curse and Trick or Treat work. Bounce comes in. See, that could finish off Hay. This does mean an extra turn of poison. They definitely cannot switch. Teeter Dance actually dodged because the Arceus is in Bounce. And then missed the Wild Charge. Bounce hits Arceus Dark, but because it's Grass type, due to Forest Curse, it's actually super effective. More poison damage there. I think they'll just stay in for one more turn. Both Hay and Howl, both close to being taken out. Hay is gone. A boost there for that Arceus, but that doesn't matter because there will be poison damage on that Leaf Storm missing. Doesn't really matter. It is now 5-3 with Howl really weak and confused. Let's see, we have an Arceus Fairy on FlashSilver side. Arceus Ground is back out on a Backfire side, which is weak, and remember that. There's a switch after a U-turn is used. Tackle to not even finish it off. Because of that defense was shore up though, heals the Arceus Ground, so that helps. Howl increases its attack and special attack. Boom. Good hit there with Aqua. Is it Aqua Tail? No, it's Shadow Bone. What did I say? Aqua Tail. Might have been looking at the animation while listening for something else. Ooh, who ran out of Metronome there? How? So far in the battle, they just lose Metronome. But because FlashSilver was smart to... Well, it was pretty sure it was part of the rules anyway, to put in 4 Metronomes, because that just means that you can't attack as opposed to struggling and getting a lot of recoil damage, which you wouldn't want. Flamethrower comes in, weakened by Water Sport, doesn't matter because that's a takeout. Substitute is already out. Now they're setting up. Arceus Ground Psychic Terrain comes in. That's an interesting one. Bullet Punch. Smelling Salts with decent damage. There's no physical defense increase on the Arceus. What is that? The fighting? Oh, Fissure! Fissure hits. That's a 3-3. Earthquake comes in. Immune is what Arceus Flying is. Damage does come in there. Boom Burst, because the sound move goes through Substitute. I very often forget that. Leech Life comes in, does heal the Arceus behind the Substitute. Gravity. Shadow, I believe Gravity lowers Evasion. Pin Missile. There's a crit on the second one. Doesn't do too much more because there's only 2 hits. Water Sport is gone. Let's see if there's a Fire move. Spatial Rend. Pretty good damage. Not too major though. Slack Off does heal. That's nice for FlashSilver. Moon Geist Beam. That's... Oh no, that's not super effective. That's not Arceus Ghost. Arceus Flying. Charge Beam. Arceus Fighting. Getting close. Double Team. Evasion now for the little Substitute doll. Energy Ball and Arceus Flying. Still 14 damage, even though it's not very effective thanks to that special attack boost. Eruption! Definitely going to take out that Substitute and take out Arceus Fighting. This is going to be hard. There's a half attack on the opposing Arceus' side, and they can't switch, there's only having 2 left. Stealth Rock damage on Arceus Electric. FlashSilver does have the lead, but you know what can happen. Anything like Self-Destruct Explosion could change this match so much. Rock Tomb on Arceus Ground doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does lower their speed. It'll still be faster though because it used Agility earlier. Accelerock, very little damage. On FlashSilver's Arceus Ground, Icicle Crest, decent damage in the Arceus Electric. Uproar. Ooh, there's Recover. There's a third move that Recover. We have Recover, Shore Up, and something else I believe earlier. Let's see, Steamroller, Hex. Good damage, good damage. Inferno does unfortunately miss. Would have burned as well. I believe that's an instant burn, just like Zap kind of paralyzes. Uproar's over. Retaliate comes in, doesn't do too much, especially thanks to that lowered attack. Inferno comes in, and it does hit and burn the Arceus Flying. Thunderfang, that's an immune. Arceus Ground Fake Tears does lower the special defense. Are they going to focus on the Arceus Electric and take that out and make it a 3v1? Confused one, burned the other. And it hits the Total Confusion. Dragon Rage doesn't do too much because it's set damage. The special defense drop doesn't actually matter there. Burn damage comes in. Amnesia setting up on the other end, but they need to attack. Lowered evasion, so attacks hit easier. Full tackle, immune. Otherwise, that might have been really big. Instruct, yeah, that doesn't really work. More burn damage on your who's gonna win. If this would have been a 2v2, this would have been a really close match, but there's still the Arceus Steel that is completely new, hasn't battled yet. Full HP, so this is looking good for FlashSilver. Oh, no PP. Who was that? Which one of those Arceus can't actually Metronome anymore? I think it's the Electric. I didn't actually see it. I think it's the Arceus Electric because it battled before. Or the Arceus Ground, they've both battled for a while. That cannot actually Metronome anymore. So they're relying on the other one to take all of FlashSilver's 3 Pokemon out. Unless FlashSilver's Pokemon use something like Explosion or Healing Wish. Facade deals damage. Phantom actually takes out the Arceus Electric. Oh no! It's actually Arceus Ground that can't hit anymore. There's Power Tip. This is over. I believe this is it. Electro Ball immunity. FlashSilver wins it, I think. Just burns it. Some little damage. Sparkling Aria hits the opponent. Clears the burn. 2%. What move is this going to be finished off with? Flare Blitz, just a big hit on 1%, but wow. Alrighty. FlashSilver does win that battle. That was an interesting end with the Arceus Ground actually being out of Metronomes instead of the Arceus Electric. FlashSilver, congratulations. You came from 2nd place in the previous tournament, which was a tournament based on skill mostly, like most tournaments will be, to a tournament which is pretty much luck. You won the winner's bracket again somehow, made it exciting by ensuring a grand final by losing the potential final, but you won it this time, so you're definitely the most consistent player yet. The most consistent player we have. Alright, so FlashSilver first, it backfired 2nd. Now to update you on future tournaments. It was after this tournament that the school year started for most of us, which meant that some of us were unable to continue the tournament, so a good amount of us left the server, and those that are left decided to make a new server. I'm now the host of that. If you have seen the Pokemon Color Tournament announcement, I did make that like a week, 1.5, even 2 weeks ago maybe, announcing the Color Tournament and how that will work with the rules. We are just over halfway through the tournament, I would say. Yeah, definitely over halfway. And starting tomorrow or in 2 days' time, I will start recording my matches from that tournament as well. That should be really exciting. Lots of fun. Completely different rules again. I'm super excited to do that. If you haven't seen that video yet of me announcing the Colors Tournament, just look back on my video. Shouldn't be too many videos into the past. And otherwise, I will explain the rules again in my first video for that Color Tournament. That's going to come soon. For now, FlashSilver, congratulations on winning this tournament. I should know that FlashSilver and It Backfired, the finalists of this tournament, alongside myself, are the 3 people from the first 2 tournaments that moved on to the 2nd server, so both of them will continue to have shots at winning. Let's see who will take FlashSilver's title. I'm certainly going to do my best. Let's see what happens. I'll see you in the Color Tournament. Goodbye.